Welcome back, brothers, to the 801st Star Wars Legion podcast. I'm Kyle.
My name's Matt.
And today we're going to be talking about the new announcements from Star Wars Legion by FFG.
Hello there.
You must unlearn
Dark
what you
side
have
of the
learned.
Force is a pathway to many abilities.
Red,
Some
green, or
considered
red, green, red.
I know.
She thought she'll do!
Sorry about the mess.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
General Kenobi.
Let's rearrange some architecture.
Is it possible to learn this power?
I thank you for your hospitality.
Twice the pride, double the fall.
Impressive. I'll show you the dark side.
Well, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to you, Matt. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Kyle. Always a pleasure to be here once again.
I feel like we say that, and it's eventually it's going to get to the point. It's like, all right. We know it's you two. Shut up. Get back to the podcast.
Down to business, right? No fun at all.
Speaking of business, we wanted to introduce a new segment to the show called Intel Briefing. Intel Briefing is just going to be a simple segment where if we have to communicate a couple lines to you, maybe just, okay, these are the things that we have to update you on about the podcast or whatever, it's just going to be like real quick, concise information and just straight to the point. So hopefully this is good for you guys. But yeah, without further ado, let's just jump into them. The first point we want to bring up is y'all are absolute mad lads.
Oh, just wilding out there, man. Just wilding.
Really, we just appreciate so much the support that you guys have been given to the podcast. I feel like we say that every week, but every week you guys just up the ante. We were, between YouTube and all other platforms for our podcast, we were over 150 views or listens within 24 hours. Actually, around 12 hours.
Dude, it was wild. It was like from the time we posted in the morning by like that night.
Yeah.
Before I went to sleep. Crazy.
Yeah, it blows my mind that people want to listen to us.
I know.
I don't know if that's like a humble brag or what. But
I know. And then from the stupid points, like, I always thought I was interesting. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm really not. But it's crazy. It's wild.
No, it really is. And so I don't ever want you guys to think that we're not appreciative of everything you do. With that, we just wanted to let you guys know that, like, occasionally we're going to ask you to like or subscribe or go click on this link. You know, I know from outside looking in, those kind of comments sound redundant. They sound unnecessary. But from my previous experience with YouTube and other podcasts, I've seen data where if you remind your viewership or your audience at all to like and subscribe, that simple act is like, oh yeah, no, I really like this guy. I want to like and subscribe. Because our last video, like, we had a lot of views, but this also has to do with the bug in the YouTube system. But like the likes weren't showing up, and I mean, like, if you don't like it, you don't like it. I'm not saying like go like our videos.
Hell yeah.
We will just be there to remind you, hey, if you enjoyed the podcast, leave a like. Because what that does is when you leave a like, it shows, okay, this person viewed this content and they engaged with it. And on YouTube, engagement means everything. That means it's going to recommend to other people that are interested in the Star Wars Legion game or maybe Star Wars in general. That means everything. So, like, if you have just one thing that you can do after listening to the podcast, if you just have half a second, just
ring that bell, smash that like button, go crazy on the subscribe.
Yeah, and we haven't been doing that as of late with the podcast just because we don't want to be like, oh man, they're just
we don't want to be those guys.
Right.
We really don't want to be those guys.
But it really does help, and that's why we want to bring it up in this Intel Briefing, is just that it matters a whole lot to us, and it means a whole lot to the growth of this podcast. And so we hope you do consider, when you enjoy the podcast, to like. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe for all the Star Wars Legion news, competitive social talk that your heart can consume.
Please. And also, like, we do it because we want to help you guys.
Yeah.
Like, my gosh, the Discord's fun.
Yeah.
Dude, I can almost not keep up with the Discord
No,
sometimes.
you guys are wilding.
It's freaking fun. It's a good time. But yeah, we just want to help you guys.
Yeah.
We want to be able to, produce the content you want to hear.
Yeah. Well, and the last thing, like exactly that. We want to produce the content you want to hear. The last thing we want is to have a stagnant podcast. So the more people, more new people too, that give us feedback, the better we can make this podcast for you. We've said it from day one. This is a community-driven podcast. We have no real desire of, making a living off of this podcast. But that being said, we do want to bring up our next point is We are considering avenues of possible monetization. Like I said, not for the necessary, or not for us to just, we want to make money off of a podcast. We are in desperate need to get Matt a microphone.
We need a better microphone for sure.
And we've done really well so far with what we've got, but if you were in the room, you would think, like, what, they're recording a podcast right now?
Side note, I'm just sick today, so
Yeah.
I might sound like your grandma.
It's totally the microphone.
I might sound like your grandma. Oh, yeah, just the mic.
Yeah. But Matt is in need of a microphone himself because we're just sharing the one. It gets us by for now, but we really just want to make this podcast as good as we can. But we're considering other things, like somewhat of a pledge. Maybe like if you pledge $10, then we can give you like a T-shirt or a patch or something. Just something that is low cost to produce, that you get something out of, but it also helps kickstart us. And it also helps us get the units that we can't afford that maybe we want to review for you guys.
Yeah, and like, let's be real. We're not going to buy units that we don't really want to play, but like if you guys want to hear reviews of units, like let us know.
Yeah.
We'll do it just for you guys.
Yeah.
But
and this is all of this so far has just been completely self-funded. Like I said, I'm grateful and I'm lucky to have previous experience with YouTube and podcasts, so that I can give a lot of what I already do have to the podcast. Next point in the intel briefing that we want to make is welcome, brothers. We understand that not all of you are indeed male. We understand this. But in order to be a brother, all you have to do is play Star Wars Legion.
Yeah, you are.
It's like saying dude or ya boy, you know?
It's your boy.
Yeah. Like, any of you are welcome to be brothers.
You are family to us. Also, like, it's because, like, 801st, 501st.
Right.
The clones, we're family.
Yeah. We felt that was necessary to explain just because we've had a couple comments on social media about it, and so we wanted to address that. It's not because we're trying to exclude anyone. It's really not. If you want to be a brother, you're a brother. It's simple as that. And that just leads right into our next thing with the social media. People have asked us about our normal uploads. Our normal uploads have changed to Friday. It just makes it a lot easier for me to edit and upload the video because we record this on a Tuesday and it's right after work.
Like, let's be real, it's the middle of the work week.
Yeah.
There's stuff going on.
Right.
So Fridays are a little easier to push out, right?
Yeah. Well, and Thursdays are my day off, so it gives me plenty of time to edit the podcast. I do say that take that with a grain of salt, because this week is indeed coming out on a Wednesday, just because we want to get this information to you as soon as possible.
Real quick, but
yeah.
For moving out Fridays. Kyle's a great producer, guys. Great producer. I don't mean to be that sarcastic, but I mean that's really good. Like, he does a great job. Great job.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. So yeah, just because the topic of today's episode is like hot off the press information, we just want to get it to you as soon as possible.
Real good stuff today, man. Like, I'm not even kidding. This is good stuff to talk about.
Yeah, no, it really is, and I'm excited to get to it. But before we get into it, we do need to quickly address our games of the week.
The games of the week.
Games of the week.
Kyle, you had an interesting game.
I had a great game this week.
Let's talk about it, because I feel like we both had a lot of games, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? We had quite a few.
Yeah, we did. And I feel like that's a direct contrast to what we had last week, where I had like almost nothing to talk about.
Dude, it's either like there's too many games to talk about, or there's like no games to talk about.
Right? No, I had a good game with the gentleman here in Salt Lake community. We played a skirmish game. I played Han and Chewie, a couple just bare bones rebels, Wookiees, and R2D2 and C-3PO. I played a variation of this list before in a full point game, but I stripped it down a little bit to make it work on the skirmish level, and then instead of like tauntauns, I was able to add R2 and C-3PO, and I was able to add another set of core troopers than I normally would run for skirmish, because skirmish I'm only running like 2 core. Miss me with running more than 2 core units on rebels.
Oh no!
On a skirmish game, there's no way I'm going to run more than 2 rebels usually.
Let me guess what upgrades you put on them.
None.
Yeah,
no, none.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah, actually, it was a 0-point upgrade called 0. Nothing.
Oh.
Yeah, I just don't care to upgrade my rebel units. They're going to die so fast. I don't care to upgrade. I'd rather spend that on another activation, or maybe even beefing up Chewie or Han, which I didn't really do either. But
No.
I gave the Wookiees the bowcaster. That's the big thing.
I think that's key.
Yeah. Well, in a skirmish game, like I'm shooting around one. That's that's super nice.
Let's be real. Yeah.
Yeah, and Pierce, whew, you gotta love it.
Oh, so good. Okay.
No, it was a great game, back and forth the entire way. It was a nail biter. Let me tell you, the whole way I was just like, dude, I don't know if I'm gonna pull this out.
Who are you playing?
I was playing Sam.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so Sam, he brought his Imperialist. He brought a generic Rebel Commander, who he used the Imperial Assault figure for Thrawn as. So I was playing Thrawn, which was awesome, and I just cannot wait now for him to actually get his
Right.
own thing for the Empire. But then he had some Death Troopers, a couple Stormtroopers, and then he had another Rebel captain as a unit leader for some Snow Troopers.
Oh, okay.
So he gave the Snows a little bit of extra courage, which really helped them move down to where they needed to be, and that was super scary. Also, I didn't win that game. No.
Bro, how often does that happen? Not ever.
Fun fact, that was my first loss in over, I want to say almost 2 months.
Oh, no.
It feels bad, but it also feels refreshing. Not because,
Really?
like, look at me, I'm so good. I have to get beaten to feel good about myself. I'm just being like, no, I'm never. When Matt and I play, it's always a challenge. Like, Matt and I are head to head all the time. I just have been on this huge winning streak. That's all I'm saying. Like, a really great, self-gratifying winning streak.
No.
But getting, like, put
All
back
good
in my
things
place.
must come to an end.
Yeah. Getting sufficiently humbled was very fun.
Well, it's interesting, too, because Sam's kind of a newer player, right?
Yes, no, he's picking up super quick too.
Super quick.
No, he made a lot of great plays, tying up R2 so I couldn't get to the secret mission, tying up the Wookiees to make sure that they couldn't get to the objective. I had to disengage on turn 5 at the very end to even get my victory point, and then it came down to points. I had a huge misplay where I should have the Death Troopers charged R2, so R2 couldn't go for the secret mission. Well, then I pulled a Rebel Core unit to go help out R2 to get some damage on the Death Trooper.
Yeah.
And then I also pulled Chewbacca, which I feel looking back on it, it's like I gave way too much resources to kill one unit. But I was like, no, I need to make sure either so that R2 can get out of there.
Well, it's kind of like the overkill thing, right? Like
Right.
you're just trying to secure victory.
Right. And I should have been more focused on the objective at hand, because if I had just let R2 die, I could have had my Rebel troopers jump up and get up to the enemy. We were playing Breach, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I could have had R2, or I could have had the Rebel troopers at least get to the finish line to get their points. The Wookiees barely made it. At turn 5, I decided to, because the Rebels and R2 managed to kill all the Death Troopers on turn 4 except one, and on turn 5, R2 hit him and the Rebel troopers hit him and nothing hit, and it was just one boy left, and I was so pissed, but like equally impressed.
Oh my gosh, dude, you hate to see it.
What a war hero that guy was.
Right?
You do hate. I mean, I love to see it, but
I don't know if he's a Death Trooper anymore. He's probably like a 2-star general.
yeah, he's
Something
like
after that.
he's a new director. He took over after Krennic left. Left quotation marks.
Oh, I got vaporized. Like,
Yeah. So like, and my second huge misplay was instead of taking care of that Death Trooper with Chewbacca, I was like, no, I got to go help out my other Wookiees who are closer to the deployment zone, because this is all in like the top right hand corner of his side of the board. So like we were all pretty close to his deployment zone, anyways. He had one stormtrooper that was just going on the opposite side. I just let him do his thing. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna get that guy. I gotta focus on here, because he killed Han
gotta
turn 2.
prioritize. Whoa,
yeah,
turn 2.
That was just nutso.
even
Like,
with like
luck,
uncanny luck.
yeah,
and
uncanny
stuff.
luck helped him survive turn 1. Seriously, at the end of turn 1, he was at 5 out
What
of
was
6.
the deployment you guys were playing? Then?
We were playing the Long March equivalent, whatever that is, battle lines or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, so you guys ended up shooting turn 1 then?
Yeah, so like he would move up and then I moved up, and then he shot me.
Oh, so the activation wise just worked out to like. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, and he did stand by really well too, and that I should have suspected that was going to happen, especially when his snowtroopers are on the other side of a wall that they just stand by, and when I go up, they're going to lay into me. He also used frag grenades super well. Like all the red dice, all the surge to crit, it was just disgusting. Yeah, so at the very end, I think the misplay of not finishing off that Death Trooper because it came to points. Like we both had a unit in the enemy deployment zone, or enemy edge of the board, I guess it is. And then if I killed that Death Trooper, I would have gotten 100 more points, and it was like a 25-point game.
Oh man,
Yeah.
sometimes that happens. And
Yeah.
you hate it because it's like, well, I killed everybody, but that one.
Yeah,
guy,
right.
and it's you hate it.
Well, and it's just it's unfortunate for me because like looking back, it's like, dang, I really could have clinched that win, but I was too proud of myself. Like I succumbed to my pride.
Hoist with your own petard.
Yeah.
Kind of like Krennic, you know.
Yeah, kind of like I was playing Empire.
Yeah, kind of like you're shot with your own Death Star. Dude, but kudos to Sam. Like,
Dude,
that's wild.
yeah,
man.
freaking Sam, great job.
He's
Great
got
job.
to have played only like less than 10 games.
Yeah.
Which
No,
is-
and that was super good. I do want to rematch just to see if I can make Han and Chewie work a little bit better
The
for me.
grudge match.
Yeah, the grudge match. I've been trying to make Han and Chewie work, and they're good for what they do. I'm just still in that spot of like I feel like I'm missing a certain way to use them. This is my third time playing with them total, and second time in a skirmish game.
Is Han he's an operative, right?
Han is a commander.
He's a
He
commander.
was my commander. Chewie was my operative.
I almost wonder if maybe Han needs the Luke treatment. You know what I mean? Get an operative Han with new command cards that might fix things. Like just a thought.
Yeah, and actually, now that we're talking about ranks and stuff, I just totally realized something.
Yo,
R2 and Chewbacca were both operatives. I'm pretty sure I can't do that in a skirmish.
I don't think so. Oh no, you're right. You can't do that.
You hate to see it. I just wanted to
no.
play R2 and Chewie.
Kyle!
I totally didn't. Oh, Sam.
Sam, kudos to you winning.
I cheated and
against
you
this
still
cheater.
won.
I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe I did that.
I know.
I didn't even think about that because R2 doesn't count, like, in my brain. I didn't even take his command cards. I'm like, yeah, he's just a cheap activation.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I hate it because sometimes the list builders, like, if you guys have like iPhones and do the list builder, skirmish mode is not on like the Legion
Yeah.
Army Builder app. It's
Yeah,
just,
we'll totally blame it on that. I totally.
yeah.
No, I just, like I said, I took a list I had in a full point game and I just shrunk it down. So I wasn't even paying attention. Dang, I feel so bad now. I'm the worst. I deserve 15 more losses before I can get a win. This is my punishment to myself.
Something like that.
All right, Matt. What about your games?
Well, I actually had quite a few games. Man, I played a lot of games this week. I ended up playing with Colin. I played with you.
Let's talk about the Colin game first.
Yeah, let's talk about the Colin game because we also started up a league this week.
Oh yeah,
We did. That was this week too, right?
Oh yeah,
Wild.
I forgot about that. It's crazy because like I said, we record this on a Tuesday and then we go to the league and play on Wednesday.
Wednesday,
So
yeah.
it's like by the time we come back around, it's like, oh no, that was the week before.
Yeah,
You know?
but it's really not. But the two games that I kind of want to talk about because we played some interesting ones. So with my buddy Colin, so we play Armada together. That's when we know each other. And, I went to his house one day to play Armada about 10, 15 miles away from here. And when I walked in, saw he had a bunch of Legion stuff. And he has, like, an Instagram account where he posts pictures. So we got to talking, and he's like, hey, man, I have this idea for playing a game of Legion and Armada mixed together.
Ooh.
Right? Like, it's the perfect game.
Yeah.
So this weekend we finally got some time set aside, basically the entire Saturday. Ended up, I was supposed to be there a little earlier. Sorry, Colin. My dog threw up, so I had to be there a little late.
Yeah, sure. Blame it on the dog.
Dude, it was so bad. I was on my way out, and I was like, you know what? I should take the dog out before family come over to take care of her. And the pen was dirty, so I had to take care of that. But so we started at 10, and we ended up playing till like 4. So a little long. But what happened is it was his 6x6 table broken down into 2 3x3 sections. So one half was Armada, one half was Legion. And he printed out a little planet that was about 10 inches in diameter. And so if you know Legion rules, you do your terrain. You do your obstacles. So the Empire got to set up the first obstacle, the planet. So I put it close to my deployment zone. I was Empire. I had Palp. And the basic rules was with Armada, you start with 300 points and you reinforce with 50 points every turn. Well, it was 25 points every turn. And then on turn 4 and 5, it was 50 to 300 points depending on the side. So it was kind of cool, very
Okay.
thematic. And for Legion, you start with 600 points. So I ended up starting with Palp, Shoreline, and then like some sniper teams.
Okay.
And he started with Jin, Pathfinders, and some sniper teams as well. And so for reinforcements in Armada, you've got these flotillas. And the idea was if you can get your flotilla to touch the planet, at the end of a turn, if it's alive, whatever reinforcements you put on it with your chips would deploy into your deployment zone
Okay.
in Legion. Really cool idea. And so with that, if somebody died, you could redeploy them on the next turn by deploying another flotilla,
Okay.
picking them back up from your deployment zone in Armada, taking them to the planet, and redeploying them.
Okay.
Kind of a cool idea. You could do this with everybody except named people.
Okay.
So it was just constant in and out of people. And so we ended up playing, it was intercept the transmissions. So it was a little bit more thematic. And it kind of ended up being like Scarif, like Jin and the Pathfinders trying to run across the river to get into the Imperial base to
Nice.
intercept the transmissions. And it was really freaking cool.
Nice.
Long story short, ended up winning barely by like 50 points. So
Wow.
we mixed the Armada rules and the Legion rules
Okay.
where we went to victory points and I won. I ended up having one more victory point than him.
Okay.
And then we went to kill points just to see where we ended up. And it ended up being, he had me a little bit on kill points, but because of the victory points.
Okay.
Down by a little bit. Ton of fun.
That's super interesting.
yeah.
And we had talked about doing something like that when we first started playing Legion. Like, wouldn't it be cool if you had Armada, Legion, and X-Wing, like all in the same?
yeah.
Like maybe you did teams. Like, okay, the squadrons in Armada have engaged. Okay, you guys play your X-Wing match. Okay, now you like the flotillas or the carriers are over the planet. Okay, Legion players, you play your skirmish match or something. That's just super fascinating.
It was super cool. And the interesting thing was, it made you think like, man, because you could do bombing runs with squadrons. It was like, would I rather win the Armada fight or I'd rather win the Legion fight?
Yeah.
Which was super interesting. And you couldn't have the same character on the ground that you had in the sky.
Oh,
So it made
okay.
you think like, okay, do I want to take Palpatine on the ground or in the sky? Do
Okay.
I want Vader in the sky or on the ground? Do I want Krennic in the sky or on the ground? And same with like Luke, because Luke is pretty good on both.
Oh, okay.
So it was really interesting.
Well, this is super fascinating because, like, as a non-Armada player, like, I love the fact that like other games kind of it can still lend its strength to Legion. You know, I like that. There's a way to make them merge, and I don't know. Did he think of this idea completely on his own, or did he go online? Or
We kind of were spitballing for
Okay.
a while. And he actually came up with most of the idea. And
Okay.
then we kind of like through Facebook Messenger, he's like, well, what do you think about this rule? And I was like, well, I think this. And he'd be like, okay, but what about this? And I'd be like, actually that's right, or maybe we could do it this way.
Okay.
So we kind of came to the rules together, but he came out with the majority. Yeah.
I would love to
It was
see
great.
like a write up or something like that from either of you two, and we could post it on the Discord for the 801st.
That'd be awesome. And like maybe I'll get him to send me. Oh, I've got the rules. Like
Yeah.
we'll publish it and we'll go over how it was done.
Yeah, so if you guys at home play both, you would have access to it, hopefully. So we'll let you know on the updates on that. Besides those games, we have the league play we talked about. Just real quickly, how'd you do on your league play?
Oh, it was rough.
Okay.
Well, it actually ended up being extremely close.
Okay.
We came down to kill points.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, kill points. It was a Luke Tauntaun ATR team. So the league is an escalation league.
Right.
So we're starting with skirmish matches. That went up against my Krennic Shoreline. And so we came down to kill points
Okay.
because it was elimination.
Okay.
And he beat me by 1 victory point.
Ooh.
Oh, you hate to see it.
Yeah. Jeez.
It was ridiculous. It was close.
Yeah.
It was close. It was against Anthony. He's really good. He's somebody who's been learning a lot. He's one of those people that just like he's picked it up real quick.
Yeah. So he's a new player too.
He is.
Okay.
And Will coached him a little bit, which was really nice. And so you could see the cogs moving.
Yeah.
And once Will coached him how to use Luke,
Yeah.
man, game over. Because
Okay.
Luke is so scary.
Well, that's good to know because I'm playing him this week. I play him tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I brought my clones, and it's interesting. I didn't know that we were going to be locked into a faction, and I didn't even know the league was starting. Like, and it was a weird situation. Like, they posted on social media, but because I'd been at work, I didn't read it, and so I unknowingly brought clones, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not complaining. Like, if I had known it was a league, I may have actually been inclined to bring Rebels. But I'm actually kind of looking back at it, I'm like, no, this is going to force me to make some really competitive decisions with clones that don't have a lot of options right now. And so I was really excited for it, first of all, and I actually ended up doing really well. I did play a player that's a little bit newer to the game, so I feel like I had one over on that side. But, he had been playing enough to where I'm like, all right, the gloves are off. Like, I'm not going to go easy on you. I'm going to do, especially with clones like right now, like, I got to use all the tricks I can.
All the tricks, man. Did you run R2 with him?
So, yeah, I ran R2. I ran Rex and R2 with 3PO. And then 4 clone units. Phase 1 clones, of course, because that's all we have as of right now.
Literally.
Yeah.
We'll talk about
in
that
2
later.
weeks,
Yeah.
No, and so I used some upgrades, though, from the new expansion. So I used 2 DP-13, the shotgun.
The shotgun,
with
the Pierce ones, yeah.
So I used Pierce, and I had 1 unit that just really all they were there for is to feed the tokens. So I had 1 clone unit with just the specialist. Then I had 1 with the DP, or the shotgun with the specialist. I had another one that mirrored that, but instead of the specialist, it was the captain. And then another one that was just, like, he was just there. He had a Z6, I think, actually. And so he split fire a little bit. But he was mostly there just so he can hand dodge tokens out to other troopers.
Okay, yeah.
And that's what's really nice about the clones is just, like, the versatility. Like, okay, I have to play a little bit more defensively now. Okay, dodge and shoot. Move back and dodge. Like, there's a lot of flavor you get there, and I'm really happy with that. Overall, I did win, and actually put me at first place in the league.
Wow.
So that's exciting.
That's exciting, yeah.
It won't last long, though. If I have to face the guy that beat you last time, I'm kind of scared.
He's good, man.
Yeah.
He's got a good list. It's interesting because after that, like, I saw the list of version, and I thought, man, everybody's running Empire and Rebels.
Oh, yeah.
Kyle's the only clones.
And then you're the only droid.
And I swapped the droids, and so I'm like, well, I got to change now. So I talked to the TO, and he's allowing it. I'm going to swap to droids just because, like, I'm a big droids fan.
Yeah.
Huge fan. Are they great in skirmish?
Oh, I thought
Not
you
so
had
much.
played droids.
No, I played Krennic Shores.
That's right. You just said that. I got
You're
2
good.
games mixed up. My apologies.
You're good, but yeah, swap.
So you will be changing
So I
to droids.
will be changing this week. In fact, tomorrow to see to see how it goes.
Okay.
But yeah,
it was just. So did you do that just because you wanted to, or because?
out of principle.
Okay.
Because I love the droids and I want to see some diversity in the tournament.
Well,
so
in
we'll do
about
it.
2 weeks, you're gonna get some heavy bloodshed.
Oh no! Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Oh, we can't. Okay, we can't wait much longer. So we're just quickly gonna go.
Oh, we did play the fort.
Yeah,
the big point.
I was about to
game.
say we just gotta quickly go over our Grand Army battle. Matt and I did a Grand Army battle. Everyone.
It was big. Pictures are on the Discord.
Yeah. Okay, scale out 1 to 10. What was your play experience?
7.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. It was like 6.5 to 7. And I say that, but I gotta caveat this because people say, like, if you're not giving things like an 8 to a 10, like, they're like, oh man, like that really sucked. No, like it was. 5 is average.
Yeah.
Below 5 is bad.
Yeah.
6 and 7 are good, right?
Yeah.
So it was a good experience, but I'll tell you why. It's just too much.
Yeah.
It's way too much. I feel the same with Armada and games that are bigger than 400 points.
Yeah.
There was a moment where, like, I kind of lost my competitive edge, and I was just like, you know what, like, it's taking us like 4 hours to get through half this game. I don't care who wins.
Yeah.
I created my own little objectives. Like, I just want this character to do this, and it let me release my competitive edge to have fun, and that's why I give it a good experience, because it was a good experience. It was the most casual experience I've had in a while.
Yeah. Well, and I would actually. So I'm glad you rated it that high because I was gonna rate it a little lower.
Oh no!
I had tons of fun as far as like us just hanging out. Like you hit the nail on the head with like, oh, it was a very casual experience. We gotta talk, but it got to a point where it's like, okay, you had 16 activations yourself.
17.
17. I had 20, and I was red player, right? So I out activated you 4 times.
Oh my gosh! And it's not like I wasn't trying to get activations. Because it's interesting because in like a regular 800 point game, even you can see this with like 500 point games. Usually there's 1 or 2 activation differences, but the points aren't that exaggerated.
Yeah.
Man, when you're playing 1600 points, it's exaggerated to the max.
Right.
Like Empire has nothing they can do to keep up with that. And I'm just thinking like clones in a 1,600-point game, man, they're going to be even more underactivated. It'll be wild.
Well, yeah, no, and I think you're right. And it just got like, okay, I had activations. I was doing 20 activations, so like turn the 19th and 20th activation. I'm like, well, I guess I'm like move or something. I just didn't feel like they were important, and I totally. At first, like when we first got it, I'm like, all right, I gotta take this seriously, right? So like I waited for you to place Palpatine before I placed Leia, so I could place her to strategic spot so her bombardment can kill your sniper. Like I was thinking all this methodically, and just like I had to get it down right. And at the end of turn 1, I'm like, okay, this is taking way too long.
Oh my gosh, it took us like an hour and a half to do one turn.
Yeah, and when we called it after what, turn 2?
Turn 3.
Okay, so turn 3, we made it at least halfway.
We did get halfway.
We're not quitters. We just called it.
It was like 11 o'clock by that point, and we started at like 5.
Yeah, no, it was. And you had just played that Armada Legion hybrid.
I literally went right from the hybrid game.
So it was a long day, and I had just gotten off work of like a 10-hour shift, so I was like. Also, we were both tired, and we were like, all right, let's not do this again.
I guess like I could see where that could influence it a little bit. But my final recommendation, do it if you just want to have fun.
Yeah.
Do it if you're just like, you know what, I want to create a jank list and have fun, and I don't care how long it takes.
Right, and we suggested this after, like, during our takedown is what we would do differently to make it a little bit more entertaining. We had talked about, like, okay, you have to have 2 heavies at least, You have to have this amount. Like, you have to stick to this many activations still. Like, you can't have more than 15 or whatever, Just, and I feel also that, like, it was really good to test out all the new stuff we had just gotten the week before.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Like, I tested out Operative Luke more, and R2-D2 and C-3PO. We played Rapid Reinforcements, so that was cool to, like, learn how they were going to interact with that.
Oh, that blew my mind. We're like, that was another thing, like, with the extra board space, like, I could have, activated in a straight line to stop R2-D2. But then when Luke comes up and creates a hole, like, you just Rapid Reinforcement somewhere. There was a lot of interesting things that happened.
Yeah, I want to try that. Like, I want to say like on a long march, Rapid Reinforcements, kind of scenario, with a new character we're gonna get into a little bit too.
Ooh.
But yeah, so those are our games for the week. And because we keep on bringing, we won't tease you any longer. Let's get on to the main topic. Last week you'll notice we didn't talk about Double Vision. That's because we knew this week it was just gonna be Double Vision on steroids.
Oh my gosh, just like, there aren't enough steroids in the world. Imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger, but like thicker,
But like thick.
But
like 2 C's.
There aren't enough C's in the world.
Oh gosh, dang it, Arnold! C's. You need to take it easy on the C's.
Right.
But yeah, so we had a couple characters announced. I don't even know where to begin on these. We're both referencing the pictures of these units, but let's just go down the list. With the one that personally blew me away probably the most, is Padme Amidala.
Really? I thought you were going to say ARC Troopers. But
Yeah, no, this Padme blew me away because I thought that for sure they were just going to take Leia and reprint her.
Like a reskin.
Yeah, like I thought that's what they were going to do. And to an extent, like she still fills a similar role. She's a cheaper unit, but she's not a commander. She's an operative. Okay? Her command cards are a little bit different. We'll get into that. But just looking at her card base value, 90 points, okay? She has training, gear, armament, command upgrades. But her keywords, quick thinking. You gain 1 aim token, or you spend quick thinking as an action. You gain 1 aim token and a dodge token. We've seen that before on other units. That's nothing incredibly new.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to really come into play here soon. So she's going to be able to do quick thinking. And then she has authoritative. When you would be issued an order, you may issue an order to a friendly unit at range 1 to 2 instead.
It's like built-in comms relay. It's nice.
So like
really
you can
nice.
play one of her command cards, right? Get the benefits of it, and then give it to someone else you want to give it to. Super strong.
So strong.
Like, okay, Rex is in trouble, but I really need Padme's effects to take place. Okay, I'm going to pop it, and then comms relay or authoritative. Like that's
or
super
maybe
good.
like, I don't want to play his 1 pip yet.
Yeah,
so we'll
like I'm
get
not ready.
hers
Yeah.
to get him out of there.
And then her next keyword is exemplar. Friendly units at range 1 to 2 and in line of sight can spend your green tokens. Okay, 2 big things. range 1 to 2. Okay, so let's back up. First thing, that's like a clone ability, right? That's the sharing green tokens. Only one way, sure. She can only give the token. But range 1 to 2 instead of just range 1 on the clones.
It's also not just clones.
Yeah, no, like she can give a dodge to Kenobi. She can give a dodge to a tank.
Like Kenobi needs dodges, but you play a Rex card, she's gonna give him the dodges.
Well, and it's
And
just
the aims.
It's units, not trooper units. So what like anything else that come out within the future? Tank, creature troopers. Oh yeah.
Sorry, helicopter noises. Lats, LAATs.
Oh, that's gonna be so
You know,
good.
the paperclip.
Yeah, well, especially with them being higher, range 2, you know, if you have to measure diagonal. No, I still think when you're measuring, you still measure like a horizontal level for distance.
Dude, if
or
they can do snow
for range.
speeders, they'll do lats.
Oh, yeah.
You know it.
I think that'll be so cool to see. I mean, probably not for another year or two, but dang.
What's cool is they could do a strafing mechanic too.
Yeah.
Because it could strafe over stuff.
Calling it now. March 2021, we're going to get the super heavy class. And it's going to be the AT-AT, the LAT, the Droid HMP, and then Rebels just have to...
Oh, you just blew my mind.
Yeah,
Dude, get this, because I think everybody but because the Rebels could get U-Wings.
Oh.
So everybody could get it, because the
That's about the
Empire-
size of like oh, dude, that would be freaking nuts.
Even the Empire has those little like carriers that are kind of like mini lats
Yeah.
from Rebels.
The TIE Reapers.
No.
Oh, not, oh, okay.
Like in Rebels,
like,
the show, they have
oh, yes, they're like
those,
a little trooper carriers. Yeah,
that
yeah.
float.
I thought you just meant like strictly a shuttle. Yeah, no.
But get that. They could do a wave that's just all those because they're all like hovercraft.
Yeah. I would love to see something like that. And I know some people
They'd
are
all
like,
be like Speeder 3 or something.
yeah.
like,
And I
really
know some
high.
people would be like, well, that's for X-Wing or that's for a model. Just let us have fun, okay?
Get this, maybe they would get compulsory where it's not a forward move, it's just a move. So,
Yeah.
So when you do compulsory, maybe you could just slide
Yeah.
left or slide
You're
to the
going to be
right.
so big, like you have to... It's hard to, you know, maybe their movements
It's hard
are going to
being
be
so
double
big, okay?
suppressive.
I don't know
you
about that, but
Well, like, because, you know, repulsor vehicles, like, they're suppressed. They give you suppression if they run over anybody. You could do double suppressing.
I imagine they'd probably not because, like, you're flying really high.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not like someone's taking your hair off with a speeder.
No, you're not using a
No,
helicopter
I
to,
guess
like,
you're right.
crash into a car, you know?
I guess you're right, but
Yeah.
still. Anyways, back onto
Back
the
to-
main unit. That's sorry for that little tangent, guys, but that we just that happens.
That's a cool idea.
So Exemplar, okay, she can give out green tokens to units at range 1 to 2. Nimble, we've seen that before. Use a dodge token, gain a dodge token. I'm really curious to see how that works. Maybe she wants to quick thinking to give herself an aim and a dodge, and then like in an opportunity where she has to use that, she can aim. Okay, yeah. So quick thinking, she gives herself an aim and a dodge, and then she does a dodge action. Like if she has to play super defensively, she can.
Oh, so she keeps them for herself.
She keeps at least one for herself, and then let some clones or some tanks or Kenobi, whatever.
Kenobi, yeah.
Anakin. Anakin use those dodge tokens. So and then sharpshooter 2, so reducing cover by 2 there. Really solid keywords. I'm really impressed by her health and courage value too. 6 health, 3 courage.
That's not bad for
Not bad at
operative.
all. White defense dice though. What do you think? What do you think? First
Here's the
clone unit
deal.
to have. Well, I guess not counting R2.
Well, here's the deal about searching to defense on it is you always think it's good
yeah.
until you start rolling and then you don't get it,
Yeah.
which is
Because
nice.
it's a 1/3 chance, right? You have 2 out of with the surge. You have a 2 out of 6 chance to get a block.
Yeah, I mean, so you're still going to be blocking a lot. Her card that gives her danger sense for that turn,
Yeah.
it'll probably be really nice, but I think it's interesting because she could be in the fight, but I don't think she wants to be in the fight, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, she wants to be supporting the fight,
You're right.
kind of like Leia a little
yeah.
bit.
She wants to, and she has her own thing, right? So like, we'll get into it a little bit here in a second. Her weapon upgrade. They showed off the looted blaster from the droids.
Oh, yeah.
So she can whip that out, and she can gain pierce from that weapon. So really good, solid choice for her. But her normal weapon, and sorry, that's range 1 to 3, so it gives her a little bit more range. Red and a white, I believe, for the dice. It's not showing on the thing.
I believe so.
Yeah. And then 3 black dice on a normal 1 to 2 attack with Pierce 1.
Pierce 1.
No gunslinger. I mean, that's fine. She's not a gunslinger. But usually with something like a hero that has 3 dice, we're usually seeing gunslinger. Like with Han with 2 red dice, Rex with 3 red dice. You know, Sabine. We're usually seeing those kind of characters with gunslinger. But it's fine. She has something completely different going on.
Now, the question is, are you going to paint her as midriff Padme? Or are you going to give her the before going into the...
Bro, you should know the answer already.
It's midriff, isn't it?
No, it's neither.
What?
My Tron theme must
Oh,
be
yeah.
upheld. She will be
no.
Jem. She'll be just she'll keep her hair, but she'll be in the same white costume that Jem is in Tron Legacy.
Actually, that would be really cool.
Well, and it works already because her clothes are already white.
I guess you just got to give her, like, the hair and do the eyes.
Yeah, well,
You're
I've already been
basically
thinking
there.
about, okay, how am I going to do a white? Because it's white and on white, so my white lights on my Tron clones.
The white on white. That
Yeah, it's
sounds
just
like
been
a rap song.
Yeah, hey, white on white.
White on white.
That's the new name of the podcast, White on White. It's
Don't do that, okay.
804th first white podcast.
We literally might get hit by the FBI tag, you know.
FBI.
That's not what we mean. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, her being able to do the things she does is going to be really helpful, which ties into the one of the command cards that we referenced earlier. Her getting secret mission for diplomatic cover. It's going to have a new command or new keyword,
Mechanic, yeah.
new mechanic. Divulge is the keyword, so you can. It's like Darth Vader's descending doom or whatever.
Darkness Descends,
yeah. Where you can reveal it before you deploy, and then you gain infiltrate. Really cool. And then there's like some other perks, like if you don't divulge, but it's pretty much just like, okay, if you divulge, you get secret mission for the rest of the game, and you start off with. Do you have a picture of that actually? I'm curious. Because that would be really good to know.
I don't. They had it on the live stream.
Yeah, and I wish I could reference it. I tried to.
It's like she does gain secret mission and infiltrate, I think.
Yeah, no, and so that's the big thing. Secret mission and infiltrate. That's just gonna make a world of difference for her. So I apologize to you guys at home that can't even. Hopefully by the time you're listening to this, you've at least seen the live stream, so you know what we're talking about. But her one pip has also been shown. And that's pretty interesting.
And if not, like, we've put the pictures on the Discord.
Yeah.
Go check it out.
Yeah, seriously, just another plug for the Discord. But yeah, Danger Sense 2 if she plays her one pip. It's only for that turn. But at the start of the activation phase, Padme Amidala may what is that word?
Where?
That's a where?
Oh, yeah, no, it's, for her one pip?
Yeah, any number of suppression. Oh, so she's giving away suppression
may
tokens.
transfer,
That's the keyword.
So you know
these
how-
images are super low res, guys. I
Super.
apologize.
So you know how Cad Bane puts his suppression on other units? She's the opposite. She takes
Oh,
suppression
okay, yeah.
and gives it to her so she can get danger sense.
Okay, yeah, and so she gets Danger Sense, and then she can re-roll her white dice. That's
It's
super
also
nice.
it's also like
Or gain more white dice, not re-roll.
Yeah, it's
not
also kind of like Inspire.
Yeah.
So if you have troopers that are like super suppressed, take their suppression away. You'll take it.
Yeah, well, and she has a courage value of 3, so she's not panicking anytime soon. And
Well, get this too. Like, was this when she activates, right?
yeah, that's when she activates.
So like, it's an interesting thing because like I was trying to see if maybe you could. I wanted to think maybe you could use her authoritative to give a command, and then remove the suppression from hers. But no, she has to activate.
That would be interesting.
She
yeah.
has to activate first.
Yeah, I don't.
So it
yeah.
doesn't quite work. Never mind.
No, that's fine. She does. We forgot to mention speed 2 movement, but that's pretty standard for a trooper unit.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Overall thoughts on that, Matt?
I think she and R2D2 are gonna be wild.
Yeah. Double secret mission.
Yeah, and I think maybe with the clones you're trying to take breakthrough.
Yeah.
I think you're trying to take breakthrough with the
Yeah.
clones because that's wild, man.
Well, there's
That's
a couple.
wild.
They're definitely getting their own identity. Breakthrough, I think, is going to be a great one for them. Recover the Supplies is good for anyone that is good at turtling up, which is
it's
like
not so great
everyone
for the
except the
Empire.
droids.
Yeah, the Empire and droids, I don't think they really want to play it.
Yeah, so like there's definitely going to be cards you want to bring and want to play as the Republic, and that's really nice because before it's like, well, I have one trick, I just have to live with it. Also, I just love the art on her thing. They just knocked it out of the park on her command
so
cards,
good.
on her trooper unit card. There is a couple more cards that she was given that we don't have access to, but it looks like we're going to see offensive push, emergency stims,
Situation awareness. Whatever that is.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what that is. I don't know. It's hard to say. And that one doesn't even look like it's an exhaustible. All the other ones look like they're exhaustible.
I'm wondering if it's something to give you surges.
Probably, I would think.
It would sound like it.
Yeah, because like I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard. But yeah, anyways, the art itself is super good, but I do want to point something out. I feel like there are some huge teases in this artwork.
Always.
We see some Boss Nass, some Qui-Gon Jinn, and some Jar Jar. That's from the Our Fate is in Your Hands command card. Also, the second card, we don't know what it does yet, but it's called Aggressive Negotiations. Ooh. It's the 2-pip, but you can clearly tell it's from the side of it, it's the arena from Geonosis. And I imagine Anakin's on the other side of that card, and that's why they don't want to show us yet. I imagine.
Do you think we'll get Padawan Anakin or Episode 3 Anakin?
I think we're getting mid Clone Wars Anakin.
General Skywalker.
Yeah, General Skywalker.
I would love General Skywalker.
I don't think we're getting the one where he has the tunic going on, the mid length, the knee length tunic, I should say. I think we're gonna get his Episode 3 close, but the hair length of Clone Wars.
So Clone Wars Season 7.
Yeah.
General Skywalker.
Yeah. Well, yeah, something. I think it's still, with what we've seen so far, I think it's possible they may even come up with something off the wall. Maybe they might do his look from Star Wars Rebels,
Oh, yeah, that was totally different, too.
That would be super interesting to see. But I do think because, this is very much movie Padme, I think we're going to see some movie Anakin, probably.
Well, it was interesting hearing them on the live stream talk about, the differences between the Clone Wars versus the movies.
Yeah.
Trying to model off of those.
Yeah.
They talked about that with ARC Troopers, where ARC Troopers are not in the movies. So
BX droid units. And we'll get to that in a minute.
Well, both of them.
Yeah.
They're both not in the movie, so it's kind of how do you
right.
make
how
it
do you
almost
do that?
real life? Yeah. It's interesting stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I think when Anakin's announced, that'll be a big thing as far as that. But yeah, I think you're totally right. It'll be really interesting to see on these characters. And we're going to get into our next hero that applies to as well, Cad Bane.
Ooh, my boy.
He's not in the live action. Luckily, we do have Duros that have been in live action Star Wars before, so we know what a Duros looks like. Walk us through some Cad Bane goodness, Matt.
Oh, I think I would love to. As a Separatist player, man, I could not be happier with this stuff. I am so excited. Well, let's take a look at him. So Cad Bane, it looks like he is going to be a little bit more expensive. He's going to be more than Bosk. He'll be $125.
Okay.
Classic. He's going to have the training upgrade, the comms, the gear, the armament, grenades. I know, something to think about. Yeah. But he's going to want to get a little close. He is. So maybe you take impact grenades or maybe take frags.
Or the new grenades that they unseemingly. Well, I don't think they knew what they were doing.
They knew what they were doing.
The droid buster, the droid buzzers, or whatever.
I was thinking about that because that's Ion, right?
Yeah, it's an Ion token, and it's not exclusive to any faction. So you could take those and throw them at a tank.
That's true. So disable a tank or something. That's not bad.
Yeah.
But so he's got that. He's got Jump 1, which is interesting because I feel like that's gonna be situational.
Yeah.
Danger Sense 2 built in, Sharpshooter 1, and Steady.
Bounty built in. I don't know if you had. I don't think you mentioned that. Yeah.
These are just on his card, so
yeah.
I'm excited for Steady.
Yeah.
Especially because that just it's so Cad Bane.
Yeah.
To move and shoot.
Yeah.
I do wish he had Gunslinger, but
that's the thing. I don't know why they didn't give him that, or at least Arsenal. I don't know. You would think that he would have. I mean, Arsenal. The only trooper units we've seen with Arsenal, Grievous. Have we seen any other?
Grievous has Arsenal. Well, some characters can get it, like Dooku with his pip card.
Oh, that's right.
But not many units. It's mostly vehicles or creature troopers or things like that.
I just would have. Boba Fett, I guess, can get it.
I think Boba Fett can with his cards as well.
You just would have thought that Cad Bane, giving him a gun or armament upgrade and frag grenades, and he has his weapon already. You would have thought he would have gotten Gunslinger or something.
Well, it's an interesting thing because you've got the armament there, and it makes me wonder if on his cards that we can't see. If we'll get that.
That's a good point.
Because we know about his 2-pip, the I'm in control.
Yeah.
And we can kind of make out the 3-pip, the I make the rules now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm wondering if his 1-pip gives him Arsenal, and then maybe he can do his Electro Gauntlets or whatever.
Or maybe, how about this?
Versatile and Arsenal.
Yeah, Versatile I think is the one he really should get the most, honestly, because if he's running up and meleeing people with 4 red dice.
Dude, he's going to want to shoot someone else too.
Yeah, no, but that's super good. It's exhaustible, but hey, like, recover that guy. Like,
Oh, and the fact that it's 3 immobilized tokens, like,
Yeah.
good night, man.
dude,
That's
yeah,
wild.
you're not getting out of that anytime soon.
And it's suppressive.
It's suppressed. It's just disgusting. I actually really love what they're doing with this. They're making him just this slimy scumball, as he should be. 125 points. I don't know. Like, I was hoping he'd be a little bit less, to be honest. Like you had mentioned, he's not. He's more expensive than Bosk. I would have thought he would have been like 100 points, honestly.
Yeah, like something not too expensive, but something where you got to consider taking him. I think this
Yeah.
puts him at a good point where he's not Vader operative.
Yeah.
But maybe you run him with a lot more B1s.
Yeah.
That's the key.
One, and I still need the Separatists to have a commander that's like 100 points or less.
I'm telling you, man, Kalani.
Yeah, Kalani,
Kalani.
Trench, like some great candidates there. Lock Turd.
Yo, we're getting there, man. He kind of looks like a turd, too.
He does, you know. Cad Bane also has these interesting tokens. We don't know what they do yet, but just clicked in my brain. I bet you those are gunslinger tokens because it has just 2 guns on the token. I bet you some way they're gonna be like, you have this many tokens to, like maybe his I'm your worst nightmare gives him X amounts of gunslinger tokens, like 2 gunslinger tokens that he can use the rest of the game.
Oh, okay.
Purely
I see.
speculative, but
So it's
well,
kind of
actually, no, 'cause there's
like
5
a fire
there.
lane, so if people
Yeah.
are close to it, he can shoot there.
yeah, I don't think it's too. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too high because there's way too many tokens. There's 6. Oh, there's 6 tokens. Okay, there's 6 turns in a game. I bet you that's what it is. So you want to
they're
pop that round
tokens,
1.
Okay.
You want to pop that round 1. Play him with Gunslinger the entire game.
Oh, it's got to be what his 1 pip does.
I
wish-
can't imagine they're gonna give him not Gunslinger or versatile somehow. Like,
Yeah.
it's just it blows my mind.
Well, it's interesting because I wonder if it has to do with his 3 pip here. Because like if you look at the bottom, there's a weapon.
Uh-huh.
It's a range attack with blast. Looks like I think it says suppressive surge to crit.
Yeah.
But I cannot make out like the letters for the life. of me.
Yeah.
I'm trying so hard. I cannot
He
do
has
it.
a Diverge thing as well, like Padme.
Oh, the Divulge,
The
yeah.
Divulge, not Diverge. Sorry, excuse me.
I
But
guess,
yeah, other than that, that's all I can tell. Place something on the battlefield.
yeah. It's interesting.
These pictures are low res for a reason. They don't want us to know too much.
I know it's funny because like in a lot of the articles, I feel like people read them, so like we knew Plo Koon was coming
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
It's interesting. How would you run him? Because like I'm thinking Jedi Hunter personally,
Yeah.
but it'd be hard to do because like you want to time it well enough to where you can get to your like Luke, for example. You want to get to Luke and immobilize him,
Yeah.
but then Luke's just gonna pop his 2 pip.
Well, I think Cad Bane is a direct answer. I mean, and we said this about Secret Mission itself. We said Secret Mission is a counter to Bounty, but I think Cad Bane is a direct counter on top of that. You know, because like with his jump, with his maneuverability, with his strong melee attack, he's gonna be like, oh, okay, you're bringing up R2. Okay, that's
Oh,
great.
Sorry, you can't blast off this turn.
I
That's
can,
a good point.
I can melee, you know, like yeah. Oh, you can't blast off. You have 3 immobilized tokens. You're not doing it, bud. Sorry.
Oh, you know how terrible that would be to be like 1 turn away, and
Yeah.
then he immobilizes you.
Yeah.
And the worst part is he can put suppression with his other pip onto you that turn. So like
Ugh.
he's already got suppression. He takes a suppression from that card, and then he puts suppression on you and immobilized tokens. Like good
And then
night,
you're
done.
panicked. Yeah, like I think. Oh, and I'm glad you brought up the suppressive. And I think what's really great about that is that he can just be this fringe player, you know, where he's just going around the edges of a board, maybe like because R2 and
Like he's
Padme-
shutting down lanes.
Yeah, they're going to
Yeah.
be wanting to creep up the side a little bit so they can stay on the battle. No, Cad Bane's coming for you. It's going to be a great night for Cad Bane's bounty. He's going to go off.
Well, it's nice because it's so thematic too.
Yes.
Like he was out there, you know. I think at one point, he abducted the Chancellor. Did he abduct Dooku? No, he didn't abduct Dooku.
Mm-hmm. No.
But man, he abducted a lot of people. He broke people out of jail. Like he was all about.
Apparently,
capturing
he
people.
broke Obi-Wan Kenobi's arm, which I don't remember.
Actually, it was funny. I'm rewatching Clone Wars. I just saw this episode the other day. He totally did that to Obi-Wan.
Oh, I know he like gave him and Quinlan Voss, right? That's
It was that episode, yeah.
I know he gave him a run for his money, but I don't remember that shot in particular. But still, that art of Kenobi's arm getting
Yeah.
broken, That just makes me sad.
I don't think he broke it, but he totally zapped the crap out of him.
It looks pretty contorted, man. I don't know. I think Kenobi's out for. I don't think he's using his rights. I don't think he's using his lightsaber arm, if you know what I mean.
Cad Bane knows his anti. He's a UFC fighter.
But yeah, that's Cad Bane. Any other thoughts on Cad Bane before we move on?
No, because I mean, as much as I'm excited for these operatives, I'm more excited for what's coming next.
You'll love to see
You'll
it.
love to see
Oh
it.
my gosh. Okay, yeah, I agree with you. I feel like the operatives are great. But the real meat and potatoes for what was announced today was the freaking ARC troopers and the BX battle droid commandos. Let's get into the ARC troopers first. Both units of ARC troopers and BX battle droids, they're kind of taking the slot of both the rebel, like the commandos, and somewhat like death troopers for.
It's kind of like, I think the best way is Pathfinders mixed with Rebel Commandos.
Yeah, and I think that's the way to do it, because we've commented on how, like, I don't think the droids and the clones could ever catch up. Well, this is the answer. They don't. They just start doing everything, and then they start doing their own thing at the same time. I don't think we're ever going to get 1-to-1s for all 4 factions.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think that they benefit from having the option to skip things that are less effective.
Yeah. But having a strike team in general is something that they needed, because you have to be able to. That's one thing you can't not have a
Well,
one
it's
for
like
one.
you with the skirmish mode.
Yeah.
You could have just popped a strike team instead of R2D2, and you would have been fine.
Right. I would have had that cheaper activation, and it would have been, like you said, it would have been fine. One thing that I am just blown away with. Let's tackle the before I get to that. Let's tackle like what we know about the units themselves. Like clone fashion, they're rolling red defense die. 1 health, 2 courage, really great. 2 speed on both the strike team and the regular ones. The only difference that I can tell so far, I mean, we can't see the entire card of the base ARC Trooper card. The only thing I can tell is different is that the strike teams have the heavy weapon team keyword. So like if you attach a heavy weapon, they're your unit leader. Nothing really shocking there. But so far, that's the only difference I can tell. We're looking at 21 points for the strike team, and then for the sniper, you're looking at 31 points. So you're looking at a 52-point unit, if I'm counting my things correctly. So a 52-point unit, that's one Phase 1 clone unit. Pretty good. With a range 5 red dice.
It's wild.
Got a red and a black. Critical one. Immune to deflect. And then the new keyword comes in hot.
Lethal,
my guy.
Now, I do admit it's a little bit of a nerf from Pierce.
Yeah. But I mean, if I'm getting a red and a black, I feel like it's more of a balance issue than a nerf just for nerf's sake. I feel like if I were to get aim tokens with a red and a black, all that's really doing on the clone side is saying, oh, no, I'm just getting this aim from my other clones. Like, that's all I'm doing.
Right? Like, and the worst part is, like, well, the nice thing is, too, you don't really need to reroll.
Yeah.
And think about this, too. Like, I hated how the other strike teams didn't surge hits at all. It feels bad when you roll and you only get surges or blanks. Like, it's just...
And it's unfortunate that the clones don't get surge. I mean, it would be broken if they had... I think that would break the game if they had surge.
It probably would.
But yeah, we're looking at the heavy weapon team. Impervious to Pierce. Scout 2.
Oh, my gosh.
Put offensive push on them. They're getting aim token right off the bat, right? And then hopefully, in the right deployments, they're shooting turn 1.
It's just... And they already have tactical.
Sharpshooter 1-2. Oh, they already do have tactical. So here's the thing. You put offensive push on them, and then they get the extra tactical, and then they're giving another aim token away.
Well, and then you trigger lethal, and you can...
You can do both. You can spend if you roll like crap, you can spend the aim, and then you can spend another aim to make that pierced.
Does tactical stack? It does because it's tactical.
Yeah. So like you can give tactical
stack.
1 to Rex, and I've done that already. Give tactical 1 to Rex, or give offensive push to Rex to give him tactical 2.
That's a good way to share aim tokens. That's
Well, and so
good.
every movement, well, and it's really nuts because like you can just really BS your way around that too. And I did this once already, is where I give him tactical 2. I give him offensive push to give him tactical 2, and then I just moved, and then I moved again in a circle, so where he's pretty much like 2 90-degree turns. He's in the
just
exact same
running.
spot, but that's 4 tokens because it's for every tactical. It's an aim token for every standard move, so 4 aim tokens for the rest of my clones.
And it's the whole turn, right? Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, and I don't know if there's going to be some clarification. They may work that around because that does kind of seem a little strong, and maybe I am reading that incorrectly, but that's the way it looks so far. We're looking at their basic weapons, combat training. So if they get into melee, they're doing black and white for each one. Not bad.
That's 4 dice.
Yeah, that's 4 dice.
That's essentially what the T21B for the
Right.
Stormtroopers throws.
Well, and they have tactical ones. So they're moving into melee combat. They're getting an aim token, and then they can spend that aim token on their hit.
It's like a free hunter.
Yeah, free hunter. That's a great way to put it.
It's a free hunter.
Their range 1 to 2 are the same dice, roll in 1 black and 1 white. Their range 3 is only 1 black die. To be expected. That's the standard issue DC 15A. Like that's pretty standard. No sign of whether they can like split fire on that. Maybe they can.
No, you do have to have the same weapon,
Okay.
and so you have to pick weapons.
Okay. So, but if they had, like, for example, we're going to get into it right now. Actually, their heavy upgrades can still split fire.
Yes.
So we're looking at the coolest of coolest heavies. We're literally looking at heavy's unit. Rip heavy. But
no.
we're looking at 5s and Echo.
Oh no!
I can't believe we're getting like these named clone characters
Oh, I know.
in ways that I wouldn't have thought we would get them.
Well, the best part is like, I'll let you talk about it, but like, man, having them on the board is what's gonna make me buy clones. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to buy clones now just so I can get them.
Yeah.
So I can play heavy, so I can play Echo, so I can play freaking ARC Troopers and Clone Commandos. Like, done deal. I'm sold. I'm in. Sorry, Rebels. I guess you'll be that 4th faction that I never touch. But that's just how it's gonna be.
No, I think you're right. I think that's with how you play too. That's going to really lend itself. I think it's really going to lend itself to just how you play yourself. They have a lot of really cool upgrades. But before we move on to those upgrades, I want to talk about 5s and Echo. A little bit of speculation, might be a hot take here. They have a green 2 on the side of their card, and I'm looking closer. There's a circle behind the 2. I am almost positive that 2 signifies that they can share green tokens at range 2.
That is a hot take.
Yeah.
That is a spicy habanero hot take.
That's
man.
Ghost Pepperinos.
Oh, baby, that is for sure. I would have to agree though. I think to an extent you're probably exactly right.
There's going to be some conditions. You can see there's a lot of text underneath that's being covered up by another card, but I think that's like their shtick. And they're also 40 points each. The one's 36, one's 40.
I was gonna ask you about that, or is it 42
Oh, it might be 42. It's blurry. It's hard
or
to
43
read.
or whatever? Either way, that's a lot. That's all. Echo himself is the same as basically a set of stormtroopers or a rebel trooper unit.
Yeah, and I don't know how. Like, I don't know.
He better be worth it. Like,
Right? And I don't know what they're gonna do. Like I honestly can say I have no idea what to speculate on the mechanics that they can pull off. You would think that one of them is a saboteur, I guess, because there's not a saboteur clone, which I mean we've been trained mentally to think that there's gonna be a sniper and a saboteur for these strike teams.
But they didn't get one.
They didn't get one, so maybe either 5s or Echo is one. It's hard to say, but I'm sure if they're that expensive for one mini, they're doing something. Oh, or maybe those green 2s are a wound increase.
Oh, that would make sense because it's health.
Yeah.
You're right. So maybe they themselves take 2 wounds when added to. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they would take a regular set of troopers, 4
Yeah.
wounds total, increase it to. No, I think you're right. I think you just hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. Okay.
That would make sense to me because then you could basically lose people.
So
But you'd be down to your commander. Like, okay,
it's
so
like a soft attachment up. It's like a soft C-3PO like mechanic.
Well,
where,
especially because we didn't mention this yet, but you can add them to regular
Right.
core troopers.
yeah, and so giving core troopers with the heavy upgrade, like double the health almost. You know.
Double health.
Double health. No, that's going to be great. I can't wait to see what they announce for that. And what's great, too, is also you can run them in their own strike teams. So you don't have to take the sniper. You can run 2 ARC Trooper strike teams, one with Echo being the unit leader and one with 5s being the unit leader.
Like, that's wild. I love it.
I think that's where you're – honestly, I'm saying it now. We don't know what they do. I think the snipers are going to be good, but I think we're going to see mostly Echo and 5s being the unit leaders Because it's like how we talked about and speculated before of like having hero units that have multi minis.
This would play right into
yeah,
that.
I think this will go right into it. Sort of like
This
little
makes
extra.
me wonder, because I know they said with personnel especially, they wanted to make personnel just core troopers.
Yeah.
I wonder if in the future we'll get like Jedi personnel
Yeah,
for the clones.
it's gonna be hard to say, but
Because I think that so many things here play into some speculative things.
yeah. Well, I mean, with their other upgrades too, we're looking at the droid popper we talked about before. It gets an ion token. It's rolling a black dice. It's not exhaustible, and it's only 3 points. Can't hate on that, especially if you're throwing it like if you're throwing it with someone that has Pierce or whatever. Like that's pretty disgusting.
Or lethal.
Or lethal, exactly. Well, maybe that doesn't work because you have to have the same weapon, right?
Oh, that's true. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it just has to be included or have the same weapon.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then we're looking at activation or something climbing. I can't make that word out. It's exhaustible.
Where at?
Right behind droid poppers. Automated climbing. I don't know. Cables.
Activation.
Cables maybe. Yeah, I think it's cables actually. Automated cables. So like grappling hooks, but better maybe. I don't know how you make grappling hooks better. Maybe it gives you scale.
Oh, ascension cable.
Ascension cables. I bet you anything it's like a scale.
I would agree. Well,
Yeah.
especially because, like, spoiler alert, the BX commando droids
Yeah.
come with scale.
Yeah.
Wild.
So, but here's the thing. I also don't know if they need scale because of the next upgrade, which is the JT-12 jetpack. You're giving jump 2 to these sniper boys. I think these are going to be your tried and true, like, hunting objective. Like, recover the supplies, boom. Get through.
Done.
Like, jump 2, they run at speed 2.
Breakthrough?
Yeah.
You got R2-D2 and Padme running. They're going to tie people up. You just jump.
You just
Just
jump it!
little Jimmy, just jump. Just do it.
Yeah, well, and what's great is something totally out of left field. You're also going to be able to give this jetpack to Captain Rex.
To Rex.
I cannot believe that. Oh, Rex isn't available this turn because he's behind this barricade or he's behind this wall, so he can't do his fire support. Psych! He's right at, well, I guess fire support triggers, but he would have to go last. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's unsuspecting at that
But
point.
it's crazy because you can pop it, like, you last first on your last turn. You jump him out. Then you pop his 1 pip. He's fire supporting.
Oh, yeah, you last, like you said, yeah. That's really good.
Well, and what's nice about him, too, is maybe what you do is you jump him up somewhere.
Yeah.
And then, because I don't see an exhaust on it.
No, I don't think so.
So you jump him up somewhere where he's safe. So you have to dedicate like a Grievous who can scale. You have to dedicate commando droids. You have to have a Luke go after him. You can't just tie him up with troopers anymore because they got to climb to get to him. And then when it's time, jump him down, pop
No.
the card.
That pop was really good, by the way. that
was even better.
Very satisfying.
That's for all you at home.
No, overall, the ARC Troopers, what a glorious unit. They have an ion ability, which is going to be really good for. Oh, dude, they have an ion grenade, right? We said that would be good for tanks. These clones are jumping right behind that tank.
Oh, it's jumping
Impact
over
2.
the tank.
Dude, your tank is dead.
That's wild. Well, the worst is the ion is what's killing me because, like, the big thing about the AAT is barrage. I can't barrage if I only have 1 action.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
This is great. I love this stuff.
I love the ARC Troopers are going to be fun.
They're going to be great, and so desperately needed for the clones. But moving on to the last unit.
This is the yin to the ARC Troopers. Yang. The commando droids.
Dude.
I gotta say, man, as cool as I'm stoked for the ARC Troopers, but these commando droids, they're dirty, man.
Like, how is this legal?
I know. Like, I will make it legal. You know what I mean?
No, it's so true, though.
wild.
Like, these... I said Padme blew me away the most, but these units, I think, are going to be... The BX series droid commandos, they are the best unit that was announced, I think.
Blow me away. Like, okay, so let me talk about real quick. Like, we'll go over the card. I will say I hate that they covered up the upgrade slots.
Oh, yeah.
On this
That
one.
was intentional. You know it was.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing is you can see they get like a training and they get a comms. We'll talk about that later because I have a theory for the comms. So starting off, they do have AI. They're droids, but they have dodge and move.
Yeah.
So not AI attack. That's huge.
Yeah, and I don't know. I really don't know why they even have AI something at that point. Because I have to move. Like, okay.
I'm sure it's just like one of those things where it's like, I think droids are going to be your really high skill level faction. So it's like, okay, like maybe it'll mess you up.
I guess like dodge, right? Like if you're going, I guess if you're going last, it's like, well, this dodge isn't doing me anything.
Well, especially like since you've already got impervious to pierce and you have red saves, and
on droids, that's nuts.
That's wild.
Oh, I got it. If I stand by, right? If you want to shoot a unit, I stand by it. Okay, well, you have to move into me, or you have to move away out of range. You can't do both, you know.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I see. So I would rather just attack you and
Right. I'd rather just take the hit.
Yeah.
But it still sucks to take a wound.
It does. But but moving on, heavy weapon teams, they have to take one if you're doing a strike team.
Mm-hmm.
Scale, which is Grievous, so you can do a free climb or clamber before or after. I think
Scout.
environmental gear or something will be necessary, so they get unhindered.
Oh, yes. And then Scout 3.
Oh, no. Scale does include unhindered and all that, like Grievous has.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, because it's just like all of the
It's
words.
just a clamber, and you can just do
it's
it for free.
free.
Yeah. Scout 3.
Yeah.
And Sharpshooter 1. Scout 3 is wild.
That's the best Scout bare bones we've seen.
A speed 3 maneuver at the beginning of the game, like that's just okay. I'll
Yeah.
get to shooting range turn 1 no matter what.
Which is weird because they don't have a 3 speed available. So it's like that's their sprinting.
Well, at least that we know of.
Yeah.
Like we can't see the speed. On
I
the
guess
card.
you're right. Yeah, that's the strike team. So maybe they run faster when there's fewer of them.
And it's funny because like we were talking about, like they talked on the podcast, not the podcast,
Droid
the live
tauntauns?
stream. Yeah, they didn't say that, but like they kept saying that like they wanted to make the droids feel like they are in the Clone Wars. Dude, the Clone Wars, those guys are popping around. They're
Yeah.
shooting in the air when they land. Wild.
Yeah, man. Surge to hit on droids. What the freak? That's so good.
I love it because I think they're the only. Well, do Rebels strike teams surge to hit?
Rebel strike teams do surge to hit. Yeah.
Okay, so it's just Rebels and clones, Rebels and droids, but they do surge hit.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: red saves, and that's key because the droids can take deflector shields. They get shielded too, and they're impervious to pierce.
Cancel crits, and they can make me go home. I don't want to play this game
It's so
anymore.
great. You just get this. You roll. Let's say you roll 4 hits at them. They're up high, so they take cover 2. You cancel the hits. Now you've got the crits. You just spend shields to cancel those. You don't even have to worry, and you can recover to gain your shields back. That's wild.
That's super nuts. So they have a couple things that I want to talk about that I don't know if we've even considered, right? So they're tokens. We don't know what their red token is with this like little coil looking thing. We don't really know what that is. But they have poison tokens on a strike team.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah, that's freaking ridiculous. I don't know how that's going to come into play. I don't
Well,
know.
if you look above the droid sniper card, it's the Dioxis Mind Saboteur.
Oh, okay. So it's not.
So
it's like a
poison
better
mines.
saboteur. I wonder if it has blast then. They probably changed it so it doesn't have blast.
I bet it does have blast.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, 'cause it's like a landmine.
Yeah, that's true. Vibroblades, Vibroswords, freaking what?
Vibroblades.
That's gonna make that like strike team just a straight up melee strike team. Like I think you said this, great for just being Grievous's bodyguards.
So good. Grievous gets tied up. Well, now you got to do. Here's the nice thing: is it's a red and a white per mini.
Yeah.
But yeah, so dude, check this out though, because we're talking about all this stuff. You're talking about leaks, right?
Yeah.
So deflector shields. Who else uses deflector shields in the movies?
Me so no like this.
Ouch time, Ouch.
Time.
Gungans,
Oh,
man. If they do it with the droids, why can't they do this with Gungans?
Dude, Gungans being a cheap, I just want a cheap core unit. I love the clones, but hot dang, I hate using all those points for core units.
Make them like snowtroopers,
Yeah.
where their one job is to get up and throw those weird blue ball things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Get
yeah,
in
they're
range.
just going to be ioning everything. Maybe they suck defensively. They probably do. I I don't know. I want to see something for the Republic cheaper. We just got strike teams, but even for strike teams, they're so expensive.
They're basically a whole unit.
You fill them up, they're 60-something points.
Yeah.
That's more than a Phase 1 clone unit.
I know. They're expensive, boys.
But they're going to be good. That's fine.
They
But
are.
yeah, the deflector shields. You get shielded too, so you can spend on crits, right? You can freaking nutso. Like,
Freaking wild.
like so if they just decide, okay, I don't have a dodge token, but shoot, dude, no, I'll do this. And then regenerate or recharge 2.
Recharge too.
When you recover, you could get 2 tokens back, which is fine. Like, I guess. Oh, AI move or dodge. They wouldn't be able to recover,
Oh, wouldn't be able to recover first.
Yeah.
You're right.
and you have to recover like for your first action, don't you?
That's right. Yeah.
You can't. I think
Well,
they
you don't
said
have
that.
to do it first. I don't. Do you have to do it first?
I think that's a rule because like especially. Oh no, I think it's just a soft thing because like you would normally recover if you're about to get panicked or if you're at least suppressed.
Oh,
So
I
if you're
see.
suppressed, which droids can't be suppressed, so I'm confused now.
Well, they can be suppressed but not panicked.
They can be panicked but not suppressed.
I'll have to look into those rules because like I haven't run into that situation at all yet.
Yeah, you're
But I
just
see
so
what
good.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird one.
But we're looking at the droid. They get droid poppers too, which is okay. Situational awareness again. Still don't know what that is, but what is that? 2-point upgrade? Like
Yeah, did you see that? Like, not expensive. You can't-
no, and I'm really curious. Yeah, I'm really probably most curious about their coil things because nothing looks like it's going to use those coil tokens.
I bet they're the Dioxis charges. They're probably the poison canisters.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, because there's not a mine. Yeah, that's like the exact same look as. You're right. That's the Dioxis canisters.
It's gotta be. That's all I can think of.
No, that's probably nail
Right.
head. Good
But
night.
like, I think you're right with the dodge and move. But here's what I want to talk about: the dodge move, because their sniper has lethal. It doesn't have pierce.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you want to make that work. So how do you get that to work? Man, you put so here's what I do because they've got the comms slot and the training,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you give them offensive push,
Oh, okay.
and then you give them HQ uplinks.
Okay.
Because if you're doing like a double the fall list, for example, there are 2 turns out of the entire game that they're probably not going to get orders.
Right.
And they're probably going to be off doing their own thing. So you'll issue them orders when you can, but then on Dooku's 1 pip and Grievous's 1 pip, they're not getting orders.
Right.
So what you do, now hear me out, this is wild. Yeah, but those 2 things, on one of the turns, you just don't give them orders. Mm-hmm. So that they can activate, and when it comes to that time, they just pop offensive push and then move for AI move,
Oh,
get an aim
get
token,
their aim.
and then still shoot. Which is crazy, you can still get your pierce.
And on the other turn that they aren't going to get orders, you just pop HQ up. You tap a HQ up link.
And then still aim and shoot.
Freaking amazing.
Perfect order. It's perfect control. Like you do that, you probably don't need to worry about issuing them orders. You can let them do their own thing. It is more points to do, but you don't have to worry about okay, how do I get this guy in order? Or crap, if this guy has a turn where he's not doing his actions in the right order, I'm in big trouble. No, you can take care of it.
Yeah,
You can do it.
that's super good. Dang, I want to play Separatist so bad right
I
now.
know. Maul.
Like these droids alone actually are probably the coolest sculpts they have on that side too. Like
Oh, by
without
far.
question.
Like,
Like,
I love-
Grievous and Dooku are cool, but this is freaking sick. This is getting out of hand. Now there are droid commandos.
I don't think he sounds like that.
I don't think he sounds like that at all. I'm just bad at impressions. I'm sorry. Oh man, those are some pretty crazy units. I don't know, man. What I said my best. What I think is the best. What do you think personally is the best or most impactful?
I think honestly it'll probably be either ARC Troopers or
Yeah.
I think it'll be the ARC Troopers, and I'll tell you why. Because most people, I don't think most people will play the Droid Commandos unless they're playing Separatists.
Mm-hmm.
I think the ARC Troopers will probably be huge.
Yeah.
Take everybody by storm.
Yeah, I think the operatives that we've been shown suffer from a couple things. I think Cad Bane suffers from 2 in particular, being as expensive as he is and white defense dice. I think I don't know, for someone that's maneuverable and hard to hit. I guess yeah, they get different danger sense, but still like
He has the Bosk issue though,
Yeah.
where like with Bosk he can die really
Yeah.
quickly if he's not always in cover or if he gets
glass
close.
cannon, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Padme just suffers from just like she's just Padme.
I hate to say that because she's a cool character.
Yeah, I love
But,
Padme's
like,
character. I
but
adore
you're
Padme.
kind of right.
She's
Like,
just she's not functioning like she's functioning into the clones with her one-way streak of sharing of green tokens.
yeah.
I think we're just setting up. I think they're both just setting up for things to come in the future. So I think maybe like there's another unit, another commander operative or somebody. Maybe not necessarily Anakin for Padme. Maybe it's someone else. Maybe it's
Maybe you got Ahsoka or something.
yeah, Ahsoka or
like,
something.
There's other people.
Satine, if Satine were ever to come
Satine
into
would
this
be
game,
cool.
because they're friends.
Yeah.
They went on a mission together.
Friends.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Anakin's bae and Obi-Wan's bae getting together.
Getting together. Who would have thought? Just a couple of
Who would've
girls.
thought? look at us. Look at us. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Not me.
But yeah, I think Padme is gonna just. I think the support is really good, and the secret mission is really good too. I'm gonna buy her and play her. Like I think she's gonna be awesome. I'm just not completely sold on her, considering that she's gonna take the slot of ARC troopers
Yeah.
for points about the ARC trooper point value or phase 2s with a mortar. So that's gonna be a hard sell. But 6 wounds, 3 courage. Surge. She is the only person on. I'm just realizing she's the only person on the Republic side that surges both offensively and defensively.
Does Kenobi not?
Kenobi doesn't surge at all.
Oh, he doesn't. That's
No.
right. He needs tokens.
He needs tokens to do that.
That's
The
interesting.
Saber class doesn't dodge or doesn't surge. The Bark surges to hit, but that's it. R2 I guess no R2 surges both ways.
Oh, that's true. But yeah, but he's kind of like that weird rebel end.
Yeah.
Republic.
So first strictly Republic unit. Also just like I can't wait to paint her. I think her with her cape and her hood is going to be sick. Cad Bane, I wish I just wish I played separate so I could have him too. Like
Dude, like after watching Clone Wars again, I forgot how much I love him as a character. I also am excited for Embo, the guy who throws his hat.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh, if I get him and Cad Bane on the table, that's a done deal.
You got to
right
call that list Hat Boys.
there. Yeah, oh, 2 hat boys.
Well, I've already decided, like how we've said before in the podcast, Matt and I like to name our unit or our list weird names. I've already decided that I'm not going to be original, but if Padme and Anakin are on the table at the same time, their list is going to be called Across the Stars. So,
Star-crossed lovers.
yeah, so that's the main meat and potatoes of the podcast today. So without further ado, let's move on to some community questions.
Speaking of potatoes,
Speaking of potatoes,
we have a question from
Casey, I don't know you actually. I can't say my boy or
Aren't you playing, Casey?
I'm playing Casey on Saturday. It'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
I haven't met this person in real life yet.
There's a lot of people on the Discord we talk with, and we're like, I haven't met that person in real life. But it's cool.
But Casey asks, what is your favorite potato-based food? If you say anything other than hash browns, you're a maniac.
Actually, I wasn't going to say hash browns.
You're a lunatic.
I'll see myself out. Okay?
Yes.
All right, I'll answer this first, I guess. Have you ever seen Psych?
No.
No. That's weird. Okay, I thought for sure you. That's one of those. Okay,
I don't watch the adult shows. I just watch cartoons.
I should have guessed. Okay,
I'm a Star Wars
I don't know if
fan.
you've ever heard this thing called a noose.
A noose? Like, you want me to hang myself?
No. Oh gosh.
It's Sudoku all over again.
Go give it Sudoku. Oh no,
Dude, every
Stop.
time. We're going to make that t-shirt one day.
It's gotta happen. But yeah, in that show, they one of the guys is talking about food, and he talks about one of his favorite meals that are snacks. That's papas fritas. It's like cuatros quesos dos fritos or something like that. And what it is, it's like mashed potatoes that are wrapped around cheese that are deep fried with like 2 cheeses in the middle. It's really good.
Yeah,
So my
sounds
dad
good.
one day was like, you know what, I'm gonna make it and he went and he made these things and he found a recipe that was like basically exactly the way the show had them. Best things I've ever eaten. Cuatros quesos dos fritos. I think is what they're
Interesting.
called. So good. That's a little like Matt-ism from
I'm
Psych.
just
Look it up.
I'm perfectly comfortable with hash browns. And I'm not talking like McDonald's, like baked into a little square hash browns. No, screw those. I'm talking Denny's or IHOP, a plate of hash browns with some ketchup on top. Oh, That's the best potato food you can ever get. I don't know if I'm alone. I probably am, but they're the best. I don't want to hear it.
I don't know, man. You throw some of that Cholula on there, that's pretty good.
Wait, how do you say it?
Cholula. You ever had that? The hot sauce?
That's not how you say it, is it?
Cholula, yeah.
Okay.
Wait, whoa, stop. All right, John, slow down. How do you think you say it?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
You're probably right because you speak Spanish.
No, well, yeah, but I always thought it was just Cholula. Like, what'd you call it?
No, I'll talk about it later.
Cholula?
That's probably like racist or
Oh,
something.
no.
I'm unknowingly saying something
Please
nasty.
don't unsubscribe.
Yeah, I'm probably the worst person in the world. But I don't know.
All right.
Anyways, no, I don't pronounce it like that at all.
Hope that helps, Casey. Now you know our darker sides.
Yeah. So moving on to the next question, we got Dak Zavis on our Discord. Dak Zavis. Last weekend, I played with the Dewback for the first time, and I had underestimated how great a unit that is. Are there any other units that you have played with / against that you underestimated? Well, first of all, I have never played against the Dewback other than the one time, and Matt and I just canceled each other out. My Tauntauns like barely survived that encounter, but they like died instantly after.
It was like Thanos, a soul for a soul. It was like I killed one set of Taunts, his other set of Taunts finished me off, but I got him down to I think one of the two.
Yeah, and he was just dead from somebody else. I don't know. So I've never played the Tauntauns, I've never played the Dewbacks more than that time. So I'm glad you've had success because I'm very curious to see how they play firsthand. Are there? But as far as any units that you've played with against that you underestimated, Palpatine.
I guess maybe do you want to do one each, like one you've underestimated and
Yeah.
one that like when you played against, when you played with.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we can
So
do that each.
so with, or I already said again. So I underestimated Palpatine severely the first time I played him. He like killed Kenobi so freaking harsh. I was like, wait, he can attack like
That
how
was
many
like
times?
one of our first games too.
Yeah, I was just like so blown away that he's doing all those attacks, and I was like, no, there's no way.
Oh, no.
So I underestimated him. More recently, though, I would say I've underestimated. Probably Dooku. Like Dooku is another one. It just is that maniacal figure, right? Like Dooku and Insidious. You're like, oh yeah, they're squishy. I can kill them. But then you get it close, and it's like, you're dead. Lightning hands.
Yeah.
But played with, I gotta say the Wookiees. When I
Really?
first played the Wookiees, I'm like, dude, these guys suck. They just are terrible. They're not good at doing anything. And then I played with them and played with them and played with them, and man, I love my Wookiees now. I love my Wookiees.
The Bookie Warriors.
I still stand by the fact that they could use a little bit of a rework, maybe an update of some kind. Just because if they're caught off guard at all, they're dead. You know, they have to be at the right place at the right time. And it's crazy how you want. I'm not original. I stole this phrase from another podcast I listened to. Shout out to the Outriders podcast.
Yo.
They one of the gentlemen on there had said you just can't use the Wookiees how you want to use the Wookiees. You have to use them how they're actually meant to be used. And it's like, dang, yeah, because I just want to jump from people to people like Tauntauns do, and just I want them to be a mini Tauntaun, and they're not. They're really not. They're good at like running objectives places, but that's it. They're good at like deleting like one unit and then helping out, but they're not meant to like go delete everybody. They're not that kind of unit. But now that I know that, I love them.
I agree, man. If you get the Wookiees to do what they need to do, like as an escort,
Yeah,
it's pretty deadly.
yeah,
It's pretty deadly.
I like them.
But
What about you? Played against? What's a unit you played against that you were caught off guard by?
oh, that's interesting. You know, I think for me the biggest one that I've been caught off guard by. Oh, there's probably two. And I'll say them both, but I'm going to focus on one more than the other. That's actually probably Sabine and the Airspeeder. I'll be honest.
Okay.
Sabine, because she doesn't seem like much, but if she can get her bombs off, it sounds bad, but like if she's able to get those bombs to go off at the right time, you can do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Depends on who you're playing, but you can. But the Airspeeder is the one I want to focus on because I can see why a lot of people don't play it.
Yeah.
makes sense. It's a lot of points, and you're not able to focus too much.
Mm-hmm.
But if you use it as a unit to just go pick 1 or 2 people off of each mini group,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, you can do a lot of damage in the long run. And I really underestimated that. To the point where now when I see it on the board, it's one of my I'm going to kill it, get it off the board, and I'll be okay.
Yeah. Well, and that's interesting because, like, I think that's very anti what a lot of people think. That people are like, oh, you can't underestimate the speeder. Like, it's the speeder. It sucks. But, like, I think this goes back to something we talk about all the time. Our local meta is something that, like, mostly because I've given it so many chances, I've learned how to use it appropriately. But also just, like, I don't think people are giving it a chance after it's been reworked. Like, it's immune to range 1 now, and it's gotten a point reduction on its weapons and the vehicle itself. It's a solid pick.
Man, and if it's going to go hunt snipers,
Yeah.
you're just that's free points for your opponent if they have
Yep.
the speeder.
That's a good point, especially with the droid commandos coming out. Like, oh, they're coming up with Grievous. I'm not going to shoot Grievous. I'm just going to shoot the droid commandos. Like, get them out of there.
That's a
they
whole
don't search
activation.
defensively.
That's a whole activation
Yeah.
done. Yeah,
And a good one, too.
pretty good one.
Strike team. Yeah.
Yeah, and on the other side of things, people that I've played with, I gotta agree with you, Dooku, man.
Yeah.
And I kind of mentioned this last podcast, but at first I was like, I don't know, it's weird because like looking at the cards up until lately, sometimes they don't click for me at first, but playing with him and saying, oh, holy crap, like I can do this, I can make this
I
thing
think
happen.
I think I can.
Yeah, literally. It hits so different when you're playing them, and then when you pull off those tips and tricks, kind of like with Palpatine and Dooku, it's amazing. And Dooku was one of those that I just thought, man, I'm just going to go with Grievous because he gets in there, does some damage. But Dooku, man, the control he exerts and the ability that he has to scatter people, pull them out of cover, move units a speed 2 maneuver away, that's something that Vader's just getting in his cards a little bit.
Yeah.
It's wild. And
I think you're
love it.
right, though. Like, I think out of that entire faction, Dooku was the most unsuspecting, like, powerhouse.
Yeah, and I think some people definitely saw him coming from a long ways away and were like, he's going to be great. But because of how expensive he is, I think a lot of people are turned off by his cost. But he's worth every penny.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It's like we've talked about this before. Of like, and maybe we'll have to go into greater depth here soon on another episode. But getting your points back with your units is so important. And I know the community has reached out and asked about that. So maybe we will have to make that a discussion, a main focus of a podcast is units that get their points back. But I
Like points efficiency,
right?
yeah.
And I hesitate from saying that should be a main topic because we've also harped on the idea that like you should just play whatever you want. We want you to play a good unit. Don't worry about it. Just keep trying and stuff. But if I guess for a competitive discussion, there's talk to be had about that.
Well, I think it's kind of like, yeah, there's just things that also are good things to know about the game, like good tactics.
Yeah.
And so whether or not you're competitive or, let's be real, I think you said it, you yourself said it last time, like everybody's a little competitive.
Yeah.
Not like cutthroat, but
Yeah.
there are tactics.
You're playing a
And
versus game. It's competitive.
Yeah, like somebody wins at the end of the day. So why
and
not
you
have
want
it?
to win.
So why not have it be you? Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly. So even if you're just playing with your buddy and you want to find a way to be your buddy, maybe we'll think about it. Let us know what you think on the Discord. Let us know in the comments. And then our final question from Will on Discord. He asks, what can we do as players to reduce the shell shock in the future? Matt, what do you think? How can we reduce the shell shock?
Ooh, it's funny. So bringing this up, it goes. He asked a similar question to Dax Davis.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like this is an add-on. Mm-hmm. I think for one, research, man.
Yeah.
I think research, and by that I mean playing other people and having experience with it, whether that is watching bat reps, reading the cards. Like, I think it's key that you know, like you and I talked about this the other day, we're getting to the point where we kind of expect certain command cards at certain times.
Yeah.
And so if we don't see that, it kind of throws us for a loop sometimes because we're like, wait a minute, like, why didn't you play Leia's one pip like at the beginning of round
Like
one?
that was the most impact. Yeah, like why did you wait at all?
To like turn 5 and now you can't because you're too close.
And now people have dodge tokens.
yeah, it's like it's super weird. But it's
I've seen that happen. No, you're exactly right.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I think that's the biggest thing is like being educated.
Yeah.
So that way, even if you haven't played the character before and you don't comprehend their impact, like there's a difference between book smarts and like street smarts. You'll have the book smarts of the unit.
Yeah. Well, and I think I can't think of much to add except one thing is that with that research, this money or this game it's expensive.
It is.
It can get out of hand very quickly, and I think you need to do that before you even buy units. Is you need to think about like, okay, is this going to help me in my playstyle? Sure, if you're just buying it because you want R2 on the board and you're not gonna like you don't know how to use them, you just want like R2 on the board. Fine, that's your prerogative.
Like, do it,
Yeah. But I think like if you're looking at like Rebel veterans or Pathfinders, there's a lot of Rebel units that are, in my opinion, just not worth running. Fleet Troopers, in my opinion, they're just not. They're not worth it.
And caveat, Kyle's been trying a lot lately to make them work.
Yeah, I've been trying a lot of new things with because I got Fleet Troopers. You're right, and I've been trying to make them work. I just haven't found a good use for them. But with that, like, I just think I think the research is needed because it's going to get expensive quick, and if you're not on top of those book smarts of the character, your street smarts will never come. You know, you're going to be playing this unit that you just like to play, you just like to see, and you'll never understand how they play. And it's important to see how they play because then not only do you have a character you like on the board, but you also have a character you're good with, and that's the dream. That's the dream.
That is the dream, right?
Forget the curly fry in the batch of regular fries. This is the dream.
Right?
That's a little How I Met Your Mother reference.
It is actually.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that show.
Seen it way
We
too
can
many
talk
times.
about the last season of it later. But
We should start a How I Met Your Mother podcast. Let's see if it'll be successful. Like 6
hey
years
guys,
after
this is
it's
the
been canceled.
801st podcast, the How I Met Your Mother podcast. Yeah.
That's really embarrassing because I started the 2 notes of The Office instead.
I did. I was like, that's a wrong.
I was like,
I didn't want to say anything.
we'll just say I edited that out in post.
At the clap, right?
No, at the clap, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go. No, I'm just kidding.
So yeah, How I Met Your Mother, totally big fan.
Totally. Great. Man, you even got the music right. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh! But I have been thinking about The Office lately because I started listening to that podcast with them rewatching The Office.
Oh, this is my first office job. It's exactly like it.
Yeah.
The good and the bad.
I just have The Office on my mind a lot lately
Right.
too. Anyways,
Oh, and also check your opponent's list before you
Yeah.
start.
dude, I don't know why more people don't do that. Like I've offered my list to so many people, even at casual games. Like, oh, here's my list. Like Sam, I think won because he knew what my list was. He like looked in it. He's like, oh, I haven't played Han and Chewie together yet. I haven't played R2. I should find out how that works. And he beat me. Like,
I think you have to show him your command hand. You
no,
don't.
you actually shouldn't.
Yeah.
You don't have to. It's highly encouraged you don't, in fact.
In fact, I would say
It's
no.
the rule.
Yeah.
It's actually not a thing.
Yeah. But, like, dude, check out your opponent's list. Like, if you show up and you don't know an ATRT can attack you 4 times, you're going to freaking poop. Like, dude, you with Palpatine.
Yeah.
You didn't know he could do those things. It sucks.
Yeah.
Because suddenly you get blindsided.
That's the best way to put it, especially with Kenobi. Just, I was going to play hello there, but you got the roll off, and now I'm dead. Oh, man. You really do hate to see it.
Victory by a technicality.
Oh, that's about it, guys. I don't know if there's anything else we could talk about today. This is a freaking long episode.
It was. Hopefully it's a good one. There was a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I'm so excited about all these units. I seriously do think this is like these next few months. You know, I think this next year between what we're getting with the Republic and the Separatists and the new additions to the Empire and Rebels, we are entering I think the golden year of Star Wars Legion, and that's exciting. We are hitting like, okay, all the delays are out of the way. Everything that's good that has been anticipated is out, and all the great stuff is coming. You know,
Like the future is bright.
yeah, the future is so bright for this game. My favorite faction is finally getting more options. That may be just me. I feel like I saw the face of God or something, and God said, "Yeet those rebels away."
No more shorelines.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes, though. But
Yeah. But yeah, some things to look forward to in the next few weeks. We got the tanks coming out soon. We do have an official confirmation that they are shipping on the. Well, I shouldn't say tanks, just the tank. Just the Saber class, as far as what we've seen, is confirmed to be shipping now. But the Phase 2s, the B2s, and the Saber class are supposed to be here by the 28th. I'm pretty sure the AAT is coming. We just gotta wait for the system on FFG's website.
Give them a day or two to remember to hit refresh. Yeah.
And if not, that's going to be kind of weird that the Republic is going to
It's
have.
going to suck is what's
Because
going to
you're going to be running those 2 tank lists. And I'll be ready for you.
I know.
I'm just excited to paint those things up like some light tanks and Tron. Like I really do have to be better about posting my pictures for all,
You got
all our
some
armies.
great armies.
Well, you as well. We just need to post more of our pictures on our Instagram, guys. Follow our Instagram. And like we said at the beginning of the podcast, if you did enjoy the podcast, please, if you're on any platform that allows you to, like the podcast, subscribe to the podcast wherever you can. Like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, MySpace, Tinder, whatever you want.
Grindr. I'm just kidding.
Isn't that like the reverse one? No, that's Bumble, the one where the girl has to say something first.
Oh, I can't remember. I don't know. I've never done Bumble.
I've never done
I did
Grindr.
Tinder. I did Neutral for a second. That was weird.
Yeah,
That's a side story.
That's
We'll
a
talk
side
about that
story.
later.
We'll have to talk about that. Never. I don't want to talk
No.
about my dating
Okay.
life on this podcast.
Anyways, guys.
Spoiler alert: there is none.
Oh my gosh. Anyways.
All right, guys. Yeah,
Signing
thank you
off.
so much for watching or listening or breathing while we do this podcast. If you have any feedback for us, please leave a comment. Any questions, we'll take those in the description or in the comment section down below and on our Discord, which is linked in the description below. Matt, any closing words from you?
This is Matt, reminding you to duck and cover.
Okay. I forgot that upgrade card at home, so I will just
Don't forget it.
I'll just have to think of something.
Offensive push.
I'll offensive push my way out of here. All right, guys. We'll see you later.
We'll see you.